Good afternoon, everyone. If you are attending or watching this live broadcast, um, this is the information session for um, the Data Science Challenge. So, Data Science Challenge is part of the upcoming CDU IT Code Fair. So, um, I'm gonna refer to the challenge website that you can readily view. So if you go to itcodefair.cdu.edu.au/cdu dash student / data science challenge, right? You'll be able to find the same web page that you are looking at here. Another way to go to this page is to go to CDU IT Code Fair and then click on CDU students, right? That brings you to a number of competitions that will be running and challenges, and click on Data Science Challenge. Right, this session is recorded for those who may not be able to watch it live today. And if you're joining this session through MS Teams app, you might be able to find a chat box where you can type any question. If you're joining this through Teams on web browser, you may not find that. But if for whatever reasons you can't find the chat box, a Teams channel will be open up today after the session, where the participants can post any questions that they want us to clarify. My name is Jakub Sebastian, so I'm part of the organizing committee, and I'm in charge of this particular challenge. So if you have any questions, feel free to post it on a chat box if you can find it. If not, feel free to post it on the Teams channel page that we will create for everyone soon, so that any questions that come in, we will address them, and then everyone else could see the same response to those questions. Right. So I have half an hour to actually go through the details of this challenge. So I'm just gonna begin. So Data Science Challenge, who can enter? So anyone who is enrolled in CDU IT courses, be it VET, undergrad, or postgrad courses, may enter this challenge. The challenge date is Tuesday, 30th of November, 2021 at 1 p.m. to 3 at Malnain Auditorium at CDU. So what it means is that this is the date for the presentation of your work. So you actually have time beginning from today until the challenge, until the submission date, to actually work on your modeling, right? So the challenge date that is stated here, this is the final presentation date. I will not go through the problem statement and the mission because they are self-explanatory. Feel free to read it. So I'm just gonna, but it is important to understand the scope of your mission in this case. So I'm just gonna highlight that your primary mission through this challenge is to build a predictive model of monthly crime occurrences in the Greater Darwin, right? So in this case, the Greater Darwin includes region of Darwin, Palmerston, and specific statistical areas, Humpty Doo and Howard Spring. So that is the scope of this mission. So the goal is to predict the number of offenses for a given month with known locations and crime categories. So if you know the month, the locations, and the crime categories, so with these three basic information, are you able to make that prediction? Right. And the basis of your modeling is the historical crime data made public by the Department of Attorney General and Justice of the Northern Territory. Now let's look at the data set and the scope. Now the data set that we have prepared for this challenge is the anti-crime statistics up to July, as it was published in July 2021. The source of this data set can be found from this link. And what this data set covers are the monthly historical crime statistics starting from January 2008 up to July 2021. So the use of any historical data that is later than July 2021 is not allowed because that is beyond the scope of this challenge. So what you need to do more specifically is that you must use 10-year worth of crime statistics data from January 2008 up to December 2017. So this is your training data. And then your model will be evaluated on a separate test set that covers crime statistics from January 2018 to July 2021. So all teams, all participants will be evaluated based on the same test set. So that ensures fairness and consistency in the evaluation. So the training and the test set have been prepared for you and they have to be used. So please download them from this link here. So if you click on that link, make sure that you are logged into CDU with CDU credentials. So if you click on that, you'll be able to download both the training set and the test set, plus some supplementary info about the data sets, including the metadata. Right. Now, the performance of your models will be evaluated on two metrics: how accurate it is. It is based on mean absolute error and root mean squared error. So this is a generic metrics. So it may be applicable. It can be applicable to any model that predicts any continuous variable. So lower scores for both metrics indicate better accuracy. Now there are other judging criteria that will be used, but this is just one of them. So let's look at what are the other judging criteria. So your work will be judged on the day of the challenge by a panel of 3 judges, right? And they will look at not just how predictive your model is in terms of the previous 2 scores that I have mentioned, but there are some other evaluation criteria that apply. First, innovation and impact. This is mainly with regards to how creative or original your solution is. Now, you are highly encouraged to not only to consider a single model, you're free to incorporate multiple models. And then approach. So we will look at whether your approach is systematic, whether it is logical. Quality of results, how accurate the prediction is based on the metrics that were mentioned previously, right? Whether you have a clearly formulated problem statement, whether you use the data set effectively, whether any feature engineering that you perform are of high quality. The tools, the main tools, as you will see later on, is Python programming. So we will not be accepting any, let's say, modeling done through R or through Excel. So the primary language is Python, but you are free to use any additional tools, let's say for visualizations and so on, right? But the primary analytical language will be in Python. But if you can demonstrate that you have a mastery over a wide range of tools, analytical tools or frameworks, that may help that will make you more competitive under this criterion. Now the presentation, the judges will be looking at whether your presentation deliver a compelling storytelling, right? Whether all team members are aware of what has been done, and also how you respond to the questions by the panel of judge. Now going back to where we were just now, participants are encouraged to perform feature engineering. What it means is that you are not constrained to a handful of variables that you find in the original data set. you're highly encouraged to actually perform feature engineering to create some additional relevant features, be it from the existing out of the existing variables or from any other external sources. You're also encouraged to perform exploratory data analysis and incorporate visual analytics. And demonstrated ability to engineer high quality features from external data sources is highly desirable. So that will make your team more competitive. Look at the rules. We only have just a handful of rules. Participants must be in teams of 2 to 3 students. We do not accept individual submission, and we do not accept submission by a team that consists of more than 3 people. So it's just we only consider teams of 2 to 3 students. Okay, so let it be clear. If you have 4 people in a team, then you have the option to actually compete as 2 separate teams, a team of 2. Results must be submitted as either .py scripts or as Jupyter notebooks. Either format is fine, written in Python, along with other supplementary materials if applicable. Python packages must be managed using Anaconda. Right. There is no restriction on the specific Python packages that you want to use or the use of other visual analytics tools. So you're welcome to make use of a variety of Python packages as well as other visual analytic tools. But the main analysis, the main modeling should be carried out in Python. Submission. You must submit your work no later than 27th of November. So that is 3 days before the presentation to the panel of judges. The reason why this has to be done earlier so that we can make sure that every team who will present on the actual day of the challenge would have could substantiate what they will be presenting. Now the judges may not go through your code one by one. We will use this submission as a means to verify that you have really indeed done the work that will be presented. So what needs to be submitted is a single zip file containing the Python scripts or Jupyter Notebook files, all data sets, including the training and test set that you use, right? And the requirements.txt file so that we could, if we need to, we could replicate your Conda environment. So in the submission, please clearly label the submission with your team name. I understand that after you register for the competition, you're able to form a team and you're able to name your team. So you have to name your submission clearly with the name of the team. We will not be able to accept late submission. So please be very clear about that. So the submission time is 23:59 Darwin local time, SCST. So please upload your submission through this link. So if you click on that, you are able to upload the submission here. So finally, about the presentation, your team will need to pitch your work to the panel of judges on Tuesday, 30th of November at this time. Okay, you have to be there at 1 p.m. The sequence will be decided later on. The venue is at the Malnayan Auditorium, CDU, Karjuna campus. Now, the duration that each team has is 10 minutes of pitching and 5 minutes Q&A. Right, so this is where you will really need to sell your model to the panel of judges and demonstrate the most important modeling results that you have done, right? So you don't have to repeat, because you have limited time, you don't necessarily need to repeat the problem statement or the mission, because the panel of judges know exactly what the problem statement and the mission is. What you need to do is to really make use of the time that is limited to highlight various models as well as the results. All right, so so that is what this data science challenge is all about. So this is the first time we organize this challenge as part of CDU IT Code Fair, and we're excited to see a number of registrations that are coming in. So if you have not registered, we would encourage you to talk to your friends and give this challenge a go. Right. So the sooner you register, the sooner you can attempt the work. So what you can do right now is following this workshop, you can begin your modeling work. Right. So practically you have about a month to produce that results before you submit it on the 27th of November. Right. So the link to register can be seen here. Right. So just follow the registration steps. So I guess that's all I have to say. So again, if you have any questions and if you can see the chat box, feel free to type it, and I'm happy to answer it right now. If for some reason you can't see it, you can't see the chat box at your end, what you can do is to go to the Teams channel that we will create shortly for everyone. So post the questions, post any doubts that you have about the challenge, any items that need clarification, and we will respond to those questions as soon as possible. And but unfortunately, we will not be able to tell you exactly what you need to do. So it's really up to your team to carry out the modeling work. Okay, but we are happy to clarify any aspect of the challenge that is probably not clear from this session. So I'm just gonna probably give a minute just in case there is any question that is coming. Right. If not, then I'm happy to end this information session here. But again, feel free to let any questions coming in, and we will respond to those questions as soon as possible. So, and probably one potential question is whether you can participate this as an external student. Yes, you can. Okay, you don't have to be in Darwin as to participate. With regards to the presentation, we understand that if you cannot be physically here, then we will figure out how to facilitate that presentation remotely for you. Right. So all the best. Okay, and looking forward to some really great work. Thank you.